So, to take us into the lunch break, it's going to be KZ2 Masters. And here is your starting grid. Jeroen Bos will start from pole position, having put in an absolute blinder in time qualifying this morning by nearly the best part of 3.5 tenths of a second. Will be joined by the 123 of Wesley Duval on the front row. Nicky Burhenne and Thierry Del Rey will be on row number 2. Glenn van den Hoek and Kevin Delcroix round out row 3 ahead of Edgar Oosting and Bas Steen. William van der Kaaij and Nick Bertram round out the top 10 ahead of Niels Costa. Mark Verhoeven with Gert Brink, René Kleven, Martin Versteeg and Henk de Jong bringing up the rear of the field. 10 minutes on the timer plus an additional lap. And it will, as with KZ2 earlier on for their heat, it will be standing starts only, and that will be the case for KZ2 and KZ2 Masters in their pre-finals. The pre-final for KZ2 will be at 2:55 p.m. KZ2 Masters at 3:15, and then the finals KZ2 at 4:55, and for Masters at 5:15 p.m. So the drivers now on their official formation lap. Wind has picked up again. Humidity has decreased, however, 67%. Air temperature 12 degrees Celsius. It is colder than that because of the blustering winds, which now have hit 28 kilometers an hour. It's a north-northeasterly wind. Now, one of the characteristics, just looking back at the KZ2 starts earlier on, where Enzo Bol completely bogged down, thing is, Mariembourg actually has an interesting characteristic because the straight has a camber to the right-hand side, very much not in the same severity as a track called Brands Hatch, but the person on pole position in the KZ2, Enzo Bol, bogged down completely. So sometimes a little bit of camber can be a slight detriment. But it is also about how you get yourself ready for the start, and then obviously dropping the clutch and then going for it. And also the tyres have to be ready. Right, flag marshal moves away. Red lights on the gantry, and we're underway. Great start from the pole setter, Jeroen Bos, who leads the field into turn 1. Literally scarping away, 3 wide, just outside of the back part of the top 10. Through the exit of turn 1, as into turn 2 for the opening time. Jeroen Bos getting a great start and just launched it off the line. Well, the driver's going a little bit wide. That was the 122 of Niels Costa. As Jeroen Bos leads the field through into turn number 5 and into Chemin de Fer. Battle really heating up. Thierry Del Rey in 4th at the moment. Glenn van den Hoek, I think, is in 5th, and it'll be Nicky Burhenne in the number 126 that rounds out the top 3. Out of Escargot for the first time. Wesley Duval now closing in on Jeroen Bos as they come through the final right-hander and now start to bang up the gears. And we'll be at flat chat coming across the line. Bos leads after the opening lap by 0.16 of a second. Burhenne in the CRG, running at the top 3. Del Rey in 4th. Glenn van den Hoek running at the top 5. Edgar Oosting has got Kevin Delcroix not too far behind. And also you've got Nick Bertram in the 134, running at the top 8. William van der Kaaij and Bas Steen round out the top 10. As again, overtakes being threaded through at turn 6 at Chemin de Fer as they head into Escargot once again. And 2 battles really showcasing their hand at the minute. Because you've got Jeroen Bos and Wesley Dual leading the way, and it's been the same. Now, what has happened to Berheni has dropped to 8th, and now there is an attempt of a move into turn number 2. That is one of the other TD carts. That is the 190. Right, Henk de Jong looks to have retired on the opening lap. Didn't even get, well, has already parked the kart. So we're down to 15 runners and riders in this KZ2 Masters race. 7.5 minutes to go. But the top 2, well, closer together last time around. But Jeroen Bos leading the way comfortably. There was a battle. There's going to be an overtake attempted and was not facilitated. Edgar Oosting battling away with Kevin Delcroix. And Delcroix was looking up the inside. Oosting going through turn 1. Oosting managed to keep it parked on the racing line. He said, well, you can try again. But I will keep it on the racing line as they go through Chemin de Fer once again. We're on to lap number 4 with 6 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap still to go. Jeroen Bos is now starting to push the tempo in the number 198 SP Motorsport machine and has just put in the fastest lap of the race, 53.656. Over 6.5 tenths ahead of Duval, and a new fastest lap from the race leader. A 53.344. Duval is responding, was only 7/100 slower that time around, and the gap has increased to nearly 7.5 tenths. Oosting, Delcroix, and now Berhen are line astern. Oh, moment there for Edgar Oosting coming out of turn number 4 and nearly went off and managed to catch the back end of the Sony kart, righted the ship, but he's going to possibly lose out on the position there. No, attempt from Delcroix did not pay off. So Delcroix had an opportunity, but this is going to bring in Berhen and Mick Bertram as well in the 1-3-4. So Bertram closing the gaps ever so slightly, coming up to 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Will Delcroix go for the move again through into turn 1? No, not on this particular occasion. He's about half a kart length behind, thought better of it. A bit further down. Oh, Delcroix up the inside. And does Berheni get through? No. So Oosting loses out 5th place to Kevin Delcroix on the Birol Art machine. It's just a case of lining it up. And that is exactly what Kevin Delcroix did. Got through and got the job done. So Oosting gets demoted down to 6th place. Barsteen now in 12th, outside of the top 10. Started in P8. We are past the halfway point of the counter, timing down from 10 minutes. And Jeroen Bos comes across the line. That gap is now expanding further still. 1 1/4 seconds. And another new fastest lap, 53.206. As there is Oosting being passed by Berhen in the number 126. That's for P6 on the road. So the Sony kart struggling a little bit here in comparison to the other machinery, including CRG and Birol Art. Now has Mick Bertram not too far behind. Bit of a big old battle for 9th backwards to 11th. Van der Kay, Verhoeven and Koster rounding out the top 11 at the minute. And Jeroen Bos has still got just under 1.1 second advantage over Wesley Dual. As here comes a move up the inside. That was the 122. Niels Koster getting through on Mark Verhoeven, and they are swapping. Oh, that's a crossover and a half and contact. And that is the 122 off the road. Niels Costa went for the crossover move. Verhoeven dived back up the inside through at turn 3, and then that was it. It was contact between the pair, and that's a real shame for the 122, who's going to tumble down the order quite significantly after that incident. Just under 3 minutes to go, and Jeroen Bos has done exactly what he's needed to. Lit up the rear tyres, got the whole shot on the start, has led every single lap so far, and the gap has further expanded because Jeroen Bos has got a new fastest lap in the pocket. 53.143 seconds, and his lead over Wesley Duval expands to just under 1.25 seconds once again. Thierry Del Rey rounds out the top 3. Glenn van den Hurk, Kevin Delacroix, Nicky Verheyen, Edgar Oosting, Mick Bertram, William van der Gaai and Bas Steen round out the top 10. Covered by 10.6 seconds. So, are there going to be any possible moves that might happen? Well, I'm just keeping an eye on William van der Gaai in the number 104. He is closing on the pair of Mick Bertram in the 134 and the 102 respectively. Jeroen Bos from SB Motorsport doing exactly what has been asked of him. You put it on pole, you need to lead, and you need to set an example of what's going to happen today. And that is precisely what we are seeing. A textbook KZ2 Masters performance by the 198 from SB Motorsport. Goes through turn 5. 1.5 minutes to go, so we're probably going to get a total of another, I'm thinking, well, if we're doing 53 ones, Jeroen Bos, who has got the fastest lap of the race so far. As Berheyen closing in on Kevin Delacroix. This is the battle for P5 coming through the penultimate right-hander. And then into the final right-hander going onto the start-finish straight. So Berheyen on the CRG might be able to get a little bit of slipstream assistance. Let's see if Berheyen has the intestinal fortitude to try and put a move through. Has teed it up nicely, carried the momentum through in turn 1, and up the inside he goes through at turn number 2. Berheyen using the curbing, the CRG trying to go a little bit sideways out of turn number 2. After the impact the right side tyres had on the exit, on the inside curbing on that right-hander. So next time around, we'll go on to the penultimate lap of this race. And Jeroen Bos doing an absolute standout performance at the front end. Exactly the best way you want to start a race day, especially when the pressure cooker situation is even more prevalent on one single day. When it's over a course of a weekend, you've got more time to relax and strategize. So, penultimate lap underway. As Berheyen gets through on Delacroix and now has 5th in the pocket. For the moment, I might add. So that is a change for P5 for the CRG driver. And followed by Delacroix on the barrel art. And making their way through into Chemin de Fer here at turn 6. So 15 out of 16 drivers look like they will be getting across the line and taking the checkered flag. As Jeroen Bos sees the last lap board and hurtles his way into turn number 1. Gap now 2 seconds. And a new fastest lap as well. 53.083 from Jeroen Bos in the 198. Out of Wesley Duval. Thierry Del Rey still holding station in P3. Glenn van den Hurk and Nicky Verheyen ran at the top 5 ahead of Kevin Delacroix, Edgar Oosting, Mick Bertram, William van der Gaai and Bas Steen completing the top 10. But Jeroen Bos coming through Escargot for what is going to be the 12th, well, the 13th and final time. Number 13 can be lucky for some, and for the 198 it's going to be Jeroen Bos out of the final corner, powers over the crest and will win the KZ2 Masters Heat comfortably by a gap of at least 1.6. Well, I was going to say nearly 2 seconds there. It's 1.6 at the end of 13 laps of racing. Wesley Duval, Thierry Del Rey, Den van den Hoek, Nicky Borgen, Kevin Delcroix, Edgar Oosting, Nick Bertram, William van der Gaai and Buzz Steen round out the top 10. Gert Brink, Mark Verhoeven are the drivers that complete the top 12. Waiting for a few more drivers to cross the line. Niels Koster, René Cleven, and last but by certainly no means least, the 142 of Martin Versteeg, with Henk de Jong unfortunately retiring, but Jeroen Bos winning the race. Started from pole, got the whole shot, led every single lap, and even got the Grand Chelem with the fastest lap in the pocket. And he is the winner of the KZ2 Masters Heat here at Mariembourg. Well, that's the end of 7 races for the morning.